Hello, everyone. Today I'm here to talk about a very fun and interesting topic in Carnatic music. It's the distinction between a raga and a scale. And it's not just fun, but I think it's a very, very crucial and important concept to understand, especially if you are a student of Carnatic music. And in this video, I'm going to exactly go over those aspects that makes it important to know as a student and how it can tremendously improve your practices. And having that awareness of what makes a raga and not just a combination of swaras is extremely important right from the beginning stages all the way to the advanced levels. Hope you enjoy it. I'll start with the basic distinction between the raga and a scale of a raga. I'll also walk you through a few examples. It's best seen with an example than me just talking about it theoretically. And you will notice that some of these ragas, it becomes way more obvious when you sing it as a raga versus sing it just as a scale. And in some ragas, it's not that obvious. And so you can still get by without the gamakams. And in the end, I'll also share some tips and techniques and a slight shift in your mindset that you can incorporate in your own practices, even if you're a beginner at a Geetham level, and use these tips to enhance your practices. And I promise that your renditions of any composition will significantly enhance. I think the best example that I can think of, and you also know this, is the notice varnams, where many people actually incorrectly say that it is set in Shankarabharanam. Well, it's actually set in the scale of Shankarabharanam. If you're saying that, then you're right. But if you call it Shankarabharanam Ragam, it's completely inaccurate to say that way. Those who don't know what notice varams are, these are fun Western-like compositions that Muthuswami Dikshitar created during the British era as purely an inspiration, drawing from Western compositions and Scottish like tunes. And he took it up as a challenge to compose some short Sanskrit lyrics and tune them in Western notes. So it's actually a C major scale. That's more accurate than saying Shankarabharanam Ragam, because Shankarabharanam is a completely different personality compared to just the C major scale. I'll give you a quick demonstration. Now take a very popular Notaswaram like Shamale Meenakshi. Many of you might already know, right? So this is how it sounds like. Shamale Meenakshi Sundareshwara Sakshi Shankari Guru Guha Samudbhave Shiveva पामर मोचनि पङ्कजलोचनि पद्मासनवाणी हरिलक्ष्मी विनुते शाम्भवि श्यामले मीनाक्षी. And it's also very pretty. It's very peppy and very straight and very simple, but yet brings out so much fun. But calling it as Shankarabharanam Ragam is in my opinion, very, very inaccurate. And here's why. If you sing just the scale of the ragam, it sounds like this. Sari gama padhani sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa. So I'm just singing the swarams of the ragam. Notice the discreteness. There is no relationship that I'm trying to show between each swarams. Whereas the Arohanam and Avarohanam of Shankarabharanam goes something like this. Sari gama padani sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. See how many glides and so many different things are happening in just the Arohanam, right? Even take Ma, for example. Sari gama gama pa ma ga re gama gama pa da ni da pa ma ga. Ma alone has so many different gamakams, right? Whereas in Nautaswaram, you sing na ra ra na. In fact, that ma, the pure note ma, rarely happens in Shankarabharanam. Sarigama, right? Ma, in fact, I'm just singing ga pa ga pa ga pa ga. Sari ga pa ga pa ga pa ma. I'm not singing ma, even though that is the actual note, right? You cannot sing Shamali Meenakshi in Shankarabharanam at all. I tried. If anybody can try it, please comment below. I'd love to hear. It's like Sarigama pa pa, Sarigama pa pa, Shamali Meenakshi. It just collapses the beauty of that straight notes, right? So that's the very very obvious difference I can show. So Notaswaram is one example. Now let's take some other ragam where you can see more obviously. If I sing the arohanam of the ragam, whereas the scale of the ragam, you can see immediately the difference. Let's say Bhairavi. Sagariga ma padani sa sani da pa magari sa. That's Bhairavi. But if I sing just the plain, Sagariga ma padani sa sani da pa magari sa. It's just reminds me of some symphony or something, right? So if you try to sing a Geetham, Shri Rama Chandra Sita Parijata Samasta Kalyana Gunabhirama, right? But if you sing just without the Gamakam, Shri Rama Chandra Sita Parijata Samasta. I don't know about you, it immediately gives me like a haunting feeling. Versus Bhairavi has such a very divine, Devi comes to my mind when I sing Bhairavi. So that just goes away when I remove all the Gamakams. Sagariga Gama ma pada padani ni da pa magare. So beautiful. Let's take Sahana for example. Sarigama pa madani sa sani da pa magama re gare sa re gare sa. It's almost like re 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 ga re 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 ga re sa. It's all same notes. We don't know where re is, where ga is. So it's all the essence lies in that oscillation, right? Sari ga ma pa madani sa na ra na na ra na na ra na ta da na ra 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 na na ra na ra na. How can you sing this plain? Sarigama pa madani sa. It's just gone. It's so obvious. You don't need to be a good, avid rasika of Carnatic music to know that, right? Let's take one more example of a more obvious raga and then I'll move to more subtler ragams. Todi, for example. Sarigama padani sa sani da pa magari sa sarigama. There is just so many gamakams between that ga and then re. Sarigama. Todi is one of the very, very advanced ragams, that's why. Personally, it took me many, many months to master Todi Varnam just because of the Gamakams. I still don't think I've mastered it fully, and Todi is still something I am working on, but it's one of the very, very obvious places you can actually see how Gamakams play out, and it's impossible to sing plain notes. So, how does it help you if you're a beginner or an intermediate or any stages? I mean, if you're an advanced singer, I don't need to tell you. You already know this by now. But if you're a beginner, what you can do is start singing Geethams with Gamakams. You know, Geethams are a very simplest, safest place where you can actually try those Gamakams, because there is not much happening there, right? There is no complex structure of Pallavi and Nupallavi, at least most Geethams. Some do have, but most Geethams is just starts from the first line to the last line. It just goes in a linear format, and most of the the rhythmic patterns are also very simple. Mostly it's like takadimi, takadimi, takadimi. It's chaturashra jati. Whether it's aditalam or upakatalam or whatever talam it is going in a very linear fashion. There is no interesting rhythmic patterns happening in Geethams. So you don't have to worry about talam, you don't have to worry about structure, you don't have to worry about long, long lyrics and all that. It's just simple 8 to 10 lines of composition, so you can focus on Gamakams. So try singing the Geethams with the Gamakams of that ragam. In fact, in my opinion, the only reason we learn Geethams is to learn the ragam, not the compositions. Okay, because we don't sing and perform Geethams anywhere, right? It's really like an exercise. But what are you exercising? It's not just the swarasthanams. You're actually trying to learn the ragam. So I tell my students, purpose of the Geetham is to learn the ragam and not the composition. Yes, composition of course you have to learn, but the more important thing is to learn the ragam. So what do you do when you are at the Geetham stage? Learn it in a way that you can sing with Gamakams. Try to practice dhatu varises or janta varises. Alankarams are beautiful. And take a Sampurnam ragam in the beginning. If you have explored Maya Malavagola, now go to Pantuvarali or Kalyani or Shankarabharanam and then try all the Alankarams. But make sure that you're employing the Gamakams of the ragam when you're singing Alankarams or even dhatu varise, right? Even little bit Gamakams, not straight. Then you can take some symmetric ragas, which are the ascending and descending are the same, like Mohanam or Shuddha Saviri or Hindolam. All these are pentatonic 5 swaras, very fun. You can try all kinds of varises. If you're interested in this topic alone, this alone can be explored in a separate video, and I'd love to make a video showing you how you can make your own varises with ragams which don't have 8 notes. Aditalam Sarli Varse has Sarigama Padanisa 8 notes, right? How do you make Sarli Varses with ragam like Mohanam or Hindolam? Comment below, I'd love to make a video on that. Then the next step you can try is Asampurna ragams and asymmetric ragams like Malahari. Going up is Sari Mapa Dasa, right? Coming down, so Sari Mapa Dasa Sada Pa Ma Gari Sa. You can try some simple alankarams in Malahari, and then you can try zigzag ragams like Sagariga or Padapasa, right? This is where the standard varises is limited. At some point, you have to graduate out of the varises. So how do you make your own phrasings? It itself is another topic of discussion. But to just give you a lead, if you're interested, go back to Geethams or Varnams. I mean, if you're already doing Varnams, then you should know this by now. But even in the Geethams, you can just pick certain phrases and then elaborate and try to explore. But if you're not able to, don't feel bad. This is not the expectation at the Geetham level to explore ragams like Begada or Varali. The best you can do is master the Gamakams. That if you can master the Gamakams at the Geethams level, that's the best. That means you have gotten enough to go to the next level with varnams and krithis. And then exploring phrases and swarams becomes very much more easier. In fact, I have a playlist up on YouTube where I have sung some of the interesting Geethams, less known to many, like Geethams in the Raga Sri Ragam, Neelambari, Begada, Saviri. All these ragams are fun, and I have actually a playlist. If you want to learn just by listening, I will link that playlist below. And these are specifically designed so that you can learn from this. The song loops 3 times so that you can just keep listening to it. And I've sung it with Gamakams in it. So you can see how the Geethams sound with Gamakams. And it can actually sound like a very beautiful composition. You can share it with others and not just a exercise. Hope this video gave some insight into Carnatic music and the importance of raga and why it is important, especially if you're a student of Carnatic music. And hope these tips and mindset helps you deepen your practices even at a beginner level. If there is any specific topic that you would like me to talk about, I'd be more than happy, and this gives me more energy and motivation to make more such videos. Please comment below with what you would like me to talk about. Thank you.